Hi everyone, it's Nicole with another 13 days of Craftoween 2025 card making video for you. Each day for 13 days, I come to you with a around 10-minute or so video showcasing that day's dies from the Craftoween box. Today we have this awesome cauldron with witch legs and all of these wonderful elements. The first thing I did was decide on my background for the card, which is this wonderful bark 3D embossing folder from Spellbinders and Simon Hurley. Next, I have die cut a bunch of the pieces and we're going to go ahead and put together the cauldron first. Now, I thought today's dies were perfect to pair with 4 different days dies. So you guys know, as we have gone through the 13 days of Craftoween, I have done tons of mixing and matching, pulling in different elements from the other days, as well as elements from Spellbinders, from other die sets from my stash. I am a huge proponent of mixing and matching, and today is no different. From our day 7, this is the set with the books and the candles. I actually am using the books just like I have on several other cards. Books have been a theme for this year, but I use that Spellbound die as part of my sentiment. And I actually hadn't used that on any of my other cards, so it was super great to be able to utilize that and use it on one of my card designs. I'm also going to be pulling the books, as I mentioned, from this set. So we have a stack of books for our card. We're going to pull the witch hat and broom from day 6. That was the skeleton trick-or-treater. I've also used this broom and witch hat quite a lot. We're going to take my favorite little ghosty from day 8. That is the one with the skeleton mug with the spooky sips. And of course, another recurring theme throughout a lot of my Craftoween cards is the day 4 little baby jack-o'-lantern. So what we're going to do here is we are building up this cauldron. Now, something I do want to make note of, you can use this cauldron with or without those witch legs. I actually think it would be very cute to incorporate into some of like the spooky shelves scenes that I've made in the past, or other things like that. When you're making your cards, definitely make it your own. I love that it's a separate element, giving you the ability to totally customize it. So in our cauldron, we've got bones and skulls and even like a little stir stick or something sticking out of there. And I'm going to build up my stack of books. I went with a very I started out with a traditional orange and black theme, and then the potion in my cauldron was that Grasshopper green cardstock from Concord 9th that I love, and before you know it, I was pulling in lots of green elements as well. But this is a very neutral, I was going for like a witch's cauldron out in the woods type of theme. And if you've followed me for any length of time, you know that I often tell myself a story, or there is some sort of a story that I imagine to myself as I'm creating. And I think that might be why a lot of my cards have a storybook type look or theme. Now, a lot of this card, even though the components, most of the components are quite different, anyone who is in my paper crafting tiers for Patreon that get the exclusive lives each month will know that there's a little bit of this card inspired by the card I created for Patreon, which is coming out here in just a couple of days. And that's going to be our little frog prince. I hadn't die cut him to begin with, even though I just kept looking at this card and thinking, we need something else. I need something else for this card. And I know you're thinking, Nicole, there's plenty of dies on this card already. But I felt like we needed a little something else. So we've got our cauldron, we've got our broomstick, we have our little ghosties, we have our witch hat, lots of extra skulls. The skulls in this set are perfect for any of your cards. And so what I'm going to do is we're going to actually pop our cauldron in place Then we're going to pop our stack of books. I've got 3 books here. And I'm going to kind of build all of these pieces, and it's going to give me a really good idea of what else I need. So also from the Frog Prince set are florals. There's also a mushroom, but I didn't really feel like the mushroom, I couldn't make it work. Believe me, I thought about it. But we're going to use some flowers, lots of blades of grass. That's going to also lead to this, you know, witch's cauldron out in the forest type of effect. And of course, our Frog Prince. And we are actually going to give him the witch hat, and I'm going to add a little bit of color to the different elements on him, but he's going to be holding that adorable little pumpkin from the Day 4 dies. And I feel like he really rounds out this scene perfectly. Lots of little die cut pieces went into the creation of this card, but I love that you can pull from so many different things. So not only lots and lots of things pulled from this box, but an embossing folder and die set from my stash also go into really just making this a complete scene, adding that storybook look and feel. This little frog is one of my favorite things, truly. I think he's just perfect for all the little Halloween crafting. And again, that little ghosty, this time out of vellum, I like to have multiples I've found on my cards of the little ghosts. Lots of little extra skulls, extra bones, and then to kind of soften it and also just really, you know, embrace that woodland witch theme, I guess. Lots of these blades of grass. These blades of grass from the Frog Prince set are phenomenal. So, so good. I did keep my flowers. I die cut them from Alabaster and added a little light yellow inking to those. And then we're going to add our flower centers, all of that good stuff. And then we're going to add a few additional embellishments like glossy accents on the center of the flowers. On the highlight, I don't know, do you see that little depressed area on the cauldron? I'm going to add glossy accents to that. I'm going to add glossy accents to the frog's eyes, which I realized my frog, I didn't put the eyes on until almost the end. They're little teeny tiny pieces, so I put off die cutting them until I got closer to finishing my card. We're going to pop up the Spellbound banner, and then underneath that, I am going to stamp and emboss a sentiment from the stamp set included in the Craftoween box. Have a hauntingly good time. I like, you guys know this, on a lot of my cards, I love a combination of a die cut greeting and then a sentiment strip. So I don't know that I have done that yet for my Craftoween cards. So this was a fantastic opportunity to kind of incorporate that, add a few scattered gemstones as well. Truth be told, I didn't even try very hard with my gemstones. I had this package, or this leftover package actually, of gold gemstones in my little craft stacks tray where I keep lots of extra bits and bobs. And so I decided to go ahead and use those on this card. And you guys will see in tomorrow's card, our last day of Craftoween. Can you even believe it? I actually dipped into my little junk craft stacks of extra die pieces. I dove into that quite a lot for little extra bits. Kind of funny. Maybe it was coming to the end of the series or whatever, but it was a great opportunity to use up some of those things. Look at those eyes. Look at his little face. So stinking cute. Again, pop all of this stuff up. I have that one extra ghost to add. I did find, so the ghost is really fun. There is a layering piece for back behind the eyes if you die cut it from a solid piece of cardstock. If you're die cutting from vellum, I would recommend not putting that back behind because you'll just see this oval back behind the face elements. I like the ghosts both ways. I've used them both ways here in this series. So here's all my glossy accents. Here's that little highlight on the cauldron. And here's our finished card. Thank you guys so much for joining me for day 12 of Craftoween, and come back tomorrow for our last day, day 13. Thank you so much for joining me today for another paper crafting tutorial. I love being able to share with this incredible community of crafters. I want to give a huge shout out and special thank you to my amazing Patreon members. If you're interested in joining Patreon, please click the link in the description underneath the video here on YouTube. Patreon is a private community where you can support more of what I do. There is exclusive content, information, and behind-the-scenes content. Top-tier members will receive a handmade birthday card during your birthday month, access to D-Stash, and monthly exclusive lives, plus so much more. We would love to have you join our growing community.